That landmark decision from the Supreme Court
for LGBTQ rights bans discrimination by employers
based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
What will this ruling mean for employers and educators in Montgomery County? Watch LGBTQ+ Rights and Equity on Outlook Montgomery.
Hello and welcome to Outlook Montgomery. Recently, the United States Supreme Court released a landmark decision on LGBTQ+ rights. The court's decision will have wide-ranging ramifications not only for employers and employees, but potentially for educators and students as well. In the case of Bostick v. Clayton County, Georgia, the Supreme Court ruled that Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, a federal civil rights law that prohibits discrimination, quote, because of sex, also includes protections for gay and transgender workers. This watershed ruling for LGBTQ+ rights was written by one of the court's most conservative justices, Neil Gorsuch, who wrote, "An employer who fires an individual merely for being gay or transgender defies the law." Here with me to discuss this ruling and its ramifications are Sharon Bland, Montgomery College's Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer, Khalif Morse, an adjunct professor of English at Montgomery College, Audra Jacobs, a Montgomery College alum, and Jordan Rodriguez, a current Montgomery College student. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, I want to ask Khalif, Audra, and Jordan, what were your initial reactions once you heard the decision? I guess I'll start with you, Khalif.
I think it's a long time overdue. I think it's a wonderful thing, but there's still more work to do. Bias is real.
That is most certain. Sure. How about you, Audra?
I think my initial reaction to it was one of incredible joy. Like, this is something, like Khalif said, that has been long overdue. I still definitely feel a little bit of frustration with the way it was handled and the future it kind of predicts.
That makes sense too. And Jordan, how about you?
Yes, all the above of what was just said. I think it's a lovely first step in the right direction towards what the community absolutely needs to take place as far as federal law is concerned. Hopefully we can get some more steps in there.
So have any of you ever been discriminated against in the workplace because of your sexual orientation? And, how would this decision empower you in your future workplaces? Audra, you have something to say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as a queer individual of color, absolutely, I've experienced some relatively heavy discrimination in almost every workplace I've been in. And I think this decision is opening the door for us to change the language a little bit and place responsibility on the people who are harming us, who are discriminating against us, instead of blaming us for who we are. So you're discriminating against me not because I'm queer, but because you are homophobic. So I think that decision helps elevate that language and change our societal views in that way.
Excellent answer there. So Sharon, as the equity and inclusion practitioner for one of the larger employers in Montgomery County, what's your opinion and the college's reaction to this ruling?
Well, I mean, it's a historic move, and I've been working in this space for 20 years. I started before I even came to the college as a civil rights attorney, and practicing in affirmative action and equal employment. And so for us at the college, it gives us greater tools to implement the affirmative action plans that we'd like to advance and equal opportunity plans that we'd like to advance without the legal ramifications of other people saying that, we somehow reverse discriminated.
Okay, I want to switch gears a little bit here. Because the Supreme Court opinion clarifies the LGBTQ rights in the workplace by virtue of Title VII, it also has impacts on education via Title IX of the Civil Rights Act. That section of the legislation prohibits discrimination in educational institutions. So let's look at some of the potential issues that educators might see in the wake of the Bostock decision.
Now, why is this important in education? For one thing, school districts and colleges are pretty big employers, so they face the same workplace and employment issues that other organizations deal with on a regular basis. Reading Title VII to embrace coverage of LGBTQ workers would help create quote, a powerful and effective workforce and would ultimately help students. The other way these cases are potentially important for education is that many courts have analyzed Title VII as similar to Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. And under Title IX, in recent years, we've seen a lot of questions about the rights of transgender students, whether they can use restrooms and locker rooms consistent with their gender identity, and whether they can participate in athletics on that same basis. Justice Alito's opinion discusses education quite a bit. On bathrooms and locker rooms, something that's come up in schools, Justice Alito says transgender students will be able to raise claims under Title IX that they should be able to use facilities consistent with their gender identity. Now, he has concerns about that, and he talks about some of the school cases that are out there. Some of these education-related issues that Justice Alito identified, we may see the Supreme Court's decision applied by the lower courts very soon, because there are several pending cases where that could happen.